What if the life you've always known, a life of simplicity, routine, and quiet contentment, was turned upside down by a single letter? A letter that promised a glimmer of hope, only to plunge you into a world of confusion and despair. This is the story of Adam, an elderly farmer whose days were defined by the rhythm of the seasons and the comforting embrace of the land he loved. But when an unexpected opportunity arrived, it forced him into a journey that tested his resilience, challenged his understanding of the world, and ultimately taught him a lesson about the fragility of hope and the enduring power of kindness. In a world that often seems to move too fast, where the old ways of life are rapidly giving way to the new, there are still places where time stands still. In these places, the pace of life is slow, the changes are gradual, and the people live in harmony with the land. This is the world of Adam, an elderly farmer whose life was a steady, predictable rhythm of planting and harvesting, of sunrises and sunsets. But even in the most peaceful of lives, there can be moments of profound upheaval. Moments that force us to confront the unexpected, to face our fears, and to find strength we never knew we had. Adam's story is a testament to the quiet courage that can be found in the most ordinary of people and the lessons that life teaches us, often in the most unexpected ways. In the heart of a remote and tranquil village, nestled among rolling hills and surrounded by fields of golden wheat, lived Adam. He was a man who had spent his entire life working the land, his hands hardened by years of toil, his face weathered by the sun and wind. Adam's village was a place where the modern world seemed like a distant dream, where the daily routines of life had changed little over the centuries. The villagers lived in harmony with nature, their lives marked by the changing seasons, the growth of crops, and the passing of time. Adam's life was simple but fulfilling. Every morning, he would rise with the sun, his body moving almost instinctively through the tasks that had defined his existence for as long as he could remember. There was a deep sense of satisfaction in his work, a feeling of connection to the earth and to the generations of farmers who had come before him. Adam's life was a symphony of routine, each day a variation on the same theme. Sowing seeds in the spring, tending to the crops in the summer, harvesting in the autumn, and preparing for the long, cold winter. The land was not just his livelihood. It was his companion, his teacher, and his solace. But as the years passed, Adam began to feel the weight of time pressing down on him. His once strong body was no longer as agile as it had been, and the tools that had served him well for so long were now worn and in need of replacement. The roof of his modest home leaked whenever it rained, and his winter coat, which had seen many seasons, was now thin and threadbare. These were small problems in the grand scheme of things, but they were constant reminders that his life, as content as it was, could be improved if only he had the means. Then, one crisp autumn morning, a letter arrived at Adam's doorstep. It was a rare event in the village, where communication from the outside world was infrequent and often brought news of little consequence. But this letter was different. It bore the postmark of the city, a place that Adam had never visited but had heard about from others. The letter was from his son, Harry, who had left the village years ago to seek his fortune in the bustling city. Harry's words were brief but filled with warmth and hope. He had managed to save some money and was sending his father a money order for $100. It was a small fortune to Adam, who had never seen such a sum in one place before. The money was a lifeline, a chance to make the repairs and purchases that had seemed so out of reach. For the first time in years, Adam felt a surge of excitement. His usually calm and measured demeanor was replaced by a sense of anticipation. He imagined the possibilities. New tools that would make his work easier, a sturdy coat to protect him from the harsh winter winds, and perhaps even a repair to the roof that would keep him dry during the rainstorms. These were not grand dreams, but they were his, and they painted vibrant hues on the otherwise muted canvas of his life. But as fate would have it, the joy that Adam felt was short-lived. When he went to the village store to cash the money order, he was met with a requirement that he had never anticipated: an identity card. In the sheltered world of his village, such documents were unnecessary. Everyone knew each other by name, and there was no need for the bureaucratic formalities that governed life in the city. Adam had never needed an identity card before, and the realization that he would have to travel to the city to obtain one filled him with a sense of dread. Despite his fears, Adam knew that he had no choice. The money order was a gift from his son, a symbol of his love and care, and Adam was determined not to let it go to waste. With a heavy heart and trembling legs, he set out on a journey to the city, a place he had never been and had only heard about in stories. The city was everything that his village was not. Loud, chaotic, and filled with people who moved with a sense of purpose that was foreign to him. The towering buildings and bustling streets were overwhelming, and Adam felt like a small boat adrift in a vast and stormy sea. Days turned into weeks as Adam navigated the labyrinthine corridors of government offices, each one more confusing than the last. The process of obtaining an identity card was fraught with challenges. Every office he visited seemed to have its own set of rules and demands, and the language of bureaucracy was one that Adam struggled to understand. The hopeful glint in his eyes began to fade, replaced by a growing sense of despair. The city, with its endless noise and ceaseless activity, was a world that he could not comprehend. Just when it seemed that all hope was lost, a breakthrough came. After what felt like an eternity, Adam finally held the elusive identity card in his hands. It was a small piece of plastic, but to him, it represented a victory over the seemingly insurmountable challenges he had faced. But this victory was to be short-lived. When Adam returned to the office to cash the money order, he was met with devastating news. The money order had expired. The small fortune that had seemed within his grasp was now gone, lost to the relentless march of time and the cold, uncaring nature of bureaucracy. Dejection washed over Adam like a tidal wave. The dreams he had nurtured with such care were now as distant as the horizon. The $100 that had promised so much was now nothing more than a memory. Yet, in the darkest hour, a flicker of humanity emerged. As Adam stood in the crowded office, a look of utter despair on his face, a stranger approached him. The stranger, moved by Adam's plight, offered him a $10 bill. It was a minuscule sum compared to what he had lost, but it was a gesture laden with compassion. Gratitude welled up within Adam, but it was a bittersweet emotion. The small act of kindness couldn't replace the larger dream, but it did restore his faith in the inherent goodness of people. Adam returned to his village, a changed man. The sparkle in his eyes, though dimmed, was replaced by a quiet resilience. Life would go on, the seasons would continue their eternal dance, and he would find a way to make do with what he had. The land that had been his companion for so long would continue to provide, and he would continue to work it with the same dedication and care that he always had. The memory of the kind stranger and the $10 bill would stay with him, a reminder that even in the face of adversity, humanity's warmth can provide solace. Adam's story is not just a tale of lost opportunity. It's a reflection of the challenges that many elderly individuals face in a world that often seems to move too fast for them. His journey, marked by hope, despair, and an unexpected act of kindness, serves as a poignant reminder that we must do more to support those who have spent their lives building the world we now inhabit. Adam's journey is not just a poignant narrative about overcoming challenges. It's also a rich resource for enhancing your English language skills. Here's how you can use his story as a powerful tool to improve your English. 1. Building vocabulary. Adam's story introduces a variety of words and phrases that are relevant to rural life, bureaucracy, and emotional experiences. As you listen or read, pay close attention to these terms. Write them down, and try to use them in sentences of your own. For instance, words like bureaucracy, identity card, and compassion are key to understanding the story. To deepen your understanding, look up synonyms and antonyms for these words, and practice using them in different contexts. This will not only expand your vocabulary but also help you feel more confident in your language use. 2. Understanding sentence structure. The narrative of Adam's journey uses a range of sentence structures, from simple, straightforward sentences that provide basic information to more complex sentences that convey deeper emotions and ideas. Pay attention to how these sentences are constructed and try to mimic them in your own writing. Notice how sentence length and structure can change the rhythm and emphasis of a story. Practicing these patterns will help you become more versatile in your writing and speaking, allowing you to express your thoughts more clearly and effectively. 3. Developing listening skills. Listening to stories like Adam's is an excellent way to improve your listening comprehension. As you listen, focus on the pronunciation, intonation, and rhythm of the speech. Try to understand the meaning of words and phrases based on context, even if you're not familiar with them. After listening, summarize the story in your own words, either in writing or by speaking aloud. This will reinforce your understanding and help you retain new information. By incorporating these strategies into your English learning routine, you can turn Adam's story into a valuable learning experience. Remember, language learning is a journey, much like Adam's, filled with challenges and rewards. Stay consistent, be patient with yourself, and keep exploring new ways to improve. Adam's story is a poignant reminder of the challenges faced by our elderly, particularly those who live in remote areas or are disconnected from the rapid pace of modern life. As we move forward, let's come together to create a world where age is celebrated, and support systems are in place to help the elderly navigate life's complexities. Share this video, spread awareness, and let's inspire change. Let's ensure that no one, regardless of their age or circumstances, is left to face the challenges of life alone. Together, we can build a society that values and cares for its elders, just as they have cared for us.